and welcome to World Insight with me, Tian Wei. Chinese science fiction has already earned its fame on the global stage after Liu Cixin won the Hugo Award in 2015. This year, another Chinese sci-fi writer, Hai Ya, received his honor. His work, The Space-Time Painter, combines future and history, bringing the readers a fantasy of how the famous painting, A Thousand Leagues of Rivers and Mountains, was created by a space-time traveler. He talked to me recently, sharing his views towards future and history, fictions and reality. So congratulations, Hai Ya. You wrote a novelette, and that is about history and the future. I really wonder, between AI and history, which one interests you more?
I'm very interested in both. Relatively speaking, history is something that's already passed or happened, while AI is something that we're in the middle of. It's still in its infancy. To me, both AI and history symbolize the fruit of our civilization. History bears witness to our past achievements, and AI might very well herald our future. For us, both of them are a reflection or a result of our civilizational progress.
Sometimes it's all about how we chose, how we made our choice, isn't it? Whether it's about AI or history.
While AI might seem cutting edge and paving the way for our future, history is not just about the past. History is also related to the future. It's not static. Even though it changes slowly, it's always evolving. Everything we experience today and in the future will one day be part of history. Perhaps AI will leave an indelible mark on our historical timeline, becoming a significant event. It's something none of us can predict.
You actually try to combine an ancient painting with the science fiction that you are writing about. Tell me, how did you make that choice? Why that specific painting? Why that specific painter?
The painting, Thousand Miles of Mountains and Rivers, is a very emblematic work. It's rich in detail. At the scroll's end, there's an inscription that meticulously chronicles the historical events of the time. Three individuals stand out in this context. The first is Emperor Huizong of the northern Song Dynasty, celebrated for his prowess in calligraphy and painting. Another pivotal character is Cai Jing, a powerful minister to whom the emperor bestowed this painting. Cai Jing is a notable figure in Chinese history, not just for his political influence, but also for his exceptional calligraphy. He's been portrayed in many films and TV series. Often reminiscent of the character Pang Tai-shi, or Grandmaster Pang, in dramas featuring Justice Bao Zheng. The act of Song Emperor Huizong gifting this painting to his subordinate Cai Jing is significant. So, Cai Jing, undoubtedly filled with pride, documented the entire historical backdrop, including his own standing on the painting. Though the inscription is concise, it's rich in information, capturing the intricate dynamics between rulers and their officials during the Northern Song Dynasty. What intrigues me most is the revelation that such a monumental painting was the creation of an 18-year-old. Based on my research, I surmised that this young artist had an extraordinary background. If he could craft such a masterpiece at 18, he likely began his formal training at a very tender age, possibly within a royal art institution. This hypothesis challenges some of the historical accounts I've come across. I'm convinced there's something extraordinary about his life. His debut was nothing short of breathtaking, producing a national treasure at such a young age. I'm deeply intrigued by him. Yet after this remarkable feat, he vanished from the annals of history, much like a meteor streaking across the sky, never to be seen again. Given his prodigious entrance into the art world, I'm convinced there is a captivating tale lurking in the shadows of his life. But with no historical records to shed light on his journey, I'm left yearning to piece together and complete his enigmatic life story.
故事的，只是说他没有在历史上留下任何记载，所以说我其实是希望，通过这个故事来给他补完一段就是完整的人生。
Have you achieved your goal?
我认为
Yes, I think so.
It seems that you have a lot of response coming from the readers. That's why you won the Hugo Award, isn't it?
这篇作品可能作为一个短中篇，它确实还有很多。
This work, perhaps best described as a novella, has many areas that aren't fully fleshed out. In terms of its composition, it's not without flaws and leaves some room for improvement. Nevertheless, I feel it has successfully captured the emotional release I intended. What I've tried to convey is a reflection on the choices one makes throughout life, or perhaps the decisions dictated by the times one lives in. In the era of the Northern Song Dynasty, the painter's life was fraught with challenges. Despite his tragic fate, he exerted every effort to change his destiny. Even though he failed, I believe the mere act of trying is commendable.
只要努力过这些东西，只要努力过，它其实已经够了。
Science fiction writers are even more honest than writers as a whole. You know, they try to put into a science fiction something they really feel about life and portray it in such a wonderful way. I don't know. For example, Liu Cixin talking about Cultural Revolution. Hao Jingfang talk about how she feels about megacities in China. And you are trying to bring part of the history through science fiction, talk about the life and fate of a young person. So to me, that's more real than the novel itself, you know?
其实推动于我们写科幻的一个原动力，我相信很多人。
A driving force behind writing science fiction, I believe, stems from a deep-seated curiosity about the future or the unknown. I see curiosity as an innate human trait. We all have it in our youth, but as we grow and grapple with life's realities, this curiosity might diminish. However, science fiction writers, without a doubt, tend to retain this sense of wonder more than most. I think many of us approach our work with a childlike heart, making us perhaps more genuine and honest than many adults. I think this might be the reason.
他的成年人来说，我们会更加真诚，我觉得可能是这个导致的。
那现在你比如说，某一件事情，会和你旁边的朋友们有不同的反应吗？你刚才说赤子之心，会这样吗？会更加的直接吗？还是怎么样啊？
When it comes to our works and discussions within the realm of science fiction, I believe we are very candid. We don't hold back when critiquing or evaluating a piece. Amongst ourselves, we often engage in frank talks. A story one of us might deem excellent might be critiqued heavily by another. Others may point out its flaws. I think this open dialogue is not only acceptable, but also a testament to our sincerity.
They are going to critique your work in front of you?
我此前跟那个
Before this, I had no personal interactions with Liu Qixin or Hao Jingfang. Despite considering myself a devoted sci-fi aficionado, I've never met or talked to Ms. Hao Jingfang. As for Liu Qixin, I've read all of his works. He personally presented me with the award recently. And during that occasion, we had a brief conversation. He offered some encouraging words and later provided advice on how to transport the trophy. He also shared his own experiences. I took his advice, but beyond that, we hadn't really talked very much. They are both well-established writers, whereas I am more of a novice who has just started to gain recognition.
刚刚获得表彰的一个新人。
You have been following works of many others. For example, Liu Cixin, Hao Jingfang, Ted Jiang, and many others. How would you characterize, different generations of science fiction writers that are popular today?
我喜欢的作品很多，就是仅仅只是科幻这个文类里面，就是我喜欢的作品很多。
I have a myriad of favorite works, especially within the realm of sci-fi. Speaking of Liu Qixin, I'm captivated by his expansive imagination, the profound awe one feels towards monumental phenomena, akin to a deep-seated astonishment rooted in our very genes when faced with scientific wonders, is something I find entirely relatable. For instance, on a recent trip to Chengdu, I visited the Sanqing Dui Museum. Standing beneath the ancient bronze holy tree, a testament to a bygone civilization, I felt a deep reverence, a connection to the annals of human history. Sci-fi works, particularly those by Liu Cixin, evoke a similar sense of wonder, but on a cosmic scale, often set against vast backdrops of planets, galaxies, or the grand tapestry of human civilization. This awe-inspiring quality is what draws me to his works. As for Ted Chiang, whom you mentioned earlier, paired with his philosophical reflections, his works are deeply thought-provoking. Even though we delve into the same realm of fiction and our speculative musings might seem trivial to a more advanced civilization, I believe it's not just the tangible marvels, but also the groundbreaking philosophical insights that matter. This is where Ted Chiang's works truly resonate with me. Regarding the novel you mentioned, The Grass Eating Blood, it's among my favorite short stories. It's penned with a stark, almost documentary-like tone, weaving surreal history that culminates in a biting satirical conclusion.
I heard you're a very principled writer. You devote a certain period of your life every day to writing. And besides that, you have your own career. You also have a good life in terms of enjoying your life. So how did you make that happen?
I think it's a result of having discipline. I always believe that personal freedom has its boundaries. To have greater freedom, I think the most direct way is to first impose certain restraints upon oneself. In the pursuit of my goals, I set plans and schedules for myself, determining how I manage my work and personal life. Beyond that, I decide how to pursue my hobbies. If I'm genuinely passionate about my profession and my pastimes, I'm more than willing to make sacrifices for them. While this journey can be strenuous and not always as liberating as one might hope, I view it as my path to a higher form of freedom.
How to find freshness in your creation, in your writing? Because so many in front of you, throughout the past 200 years, they've already tried everything. How to find something fresh?
其实像我刚刚觉得您说的这个问题，确实是我们现在在科幻写作中可能遇到的一个。
It's indeed a common challenge in contemporary sci-fi writing. I might conceive an idea only to later realize it's been previously explored, leading to potential overlaps. But I believe as long as science is evolving, given that sci-fi is rooted in science, we'll always have a fresh influx of material. We should always keep an open mind, being receptive to other genres like mystery, fantasy, or even blending in elements of our traditional culture and historical insights. These diverse approaches are avenues for innovation and new thoughts. My sci-fi works aren't just about aliens or interstellar wars. The realm of science fiction is diverse and multifaceted. I believe that embracing it with an inclusive mindset, a plethora of unique perspectives will naturally emerge.
非常多元和丰富的一个东西。其实我觉得我们可以用一种更包容的心态来看待它。
So we are in an interesting period of time. We are in an echo chamber as a result of social media. Also, it's a fragmented world we are embracing virtually. So how do you as a writer, as a science fiction writer, looking at this reality?
这个是我们可以自己选择的，因为本身其实我们在很多科幻作品里面
We can make our own choices. In many science fiction works, including those by Liu Cixin, notably Taking Care of Gods and The Wages of Humanity, the writer depicts a world where human beings live in a metaphorical cradle. As our technology reaches unparalleled heights, alien machinery can cater to our every need. In such a scenario, humans might not need to lift a finger, living from birth to death in a perpetual controlled greenhouse or cradle. If our development trajectory continues unchecked in this direction, our civilization could face a potential decline. If we reach a point where we lose the initiative to seek out and discern information, it would indeed signal a profound crisis for human civilization. However, I remain optimistic. Every living being has both inertia and competitiveness. Everyone has a fair share of laziness. As you mentioned earlier, after a long day at work, one might want to rest. Even if I'm a very disciplined person, there can be lapses into laziness. Yet we still try to make choices. We're living in a wonderful time where science and civilization have made significant strides. Ancient records, including our poetry and writings, underscore the virtues of perseverance and the pursuit of knowledge, for instance, as reflected in the saying, "Long is my road, and far is the journey, high and low, up and down," or Lu Xun's writings that suggest even if everyone is asleep, there will always be someone who shouts out. Even if most succumb to darkness, there will always be a voice of resistance. I believe our civilization's history is filled with such brave souls. As long as such individuals exist, we'll overcome any crisis. However, if we lack this courage, our civilization might face decline or hit a dead end.
How would you be able to, live your daily life as a young professional in the hustle-bustling city of Shenzhen and be able to also concentrate every day on some writing that you really enjoy?
The essence of all of it is maintaining focus. In my daily routine, I compartmentalize specific periods for different tasks. There are dedicated hours for my professional duties, while my passion for writing is pursued during my leisure moments. So this is how I balance the two in terms of time. When I work, I'm fully engaged. And once I finish, I set it aside in my free time and immerse myself wholeheartedly in my personal pursuits. For me, this represents a fluid transition between the two distinct mindsets, offering a therapeutic respite for the brain.